Hello Transformer fans, in this video I'm reviewing the characters of Transformers Prime for the new series Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Season 2. First up, Megatron. Megatron died in almost every Transformers series apart from Transformers Robots in Disguise 2001 and Transformers Animated. Both times he was arrested. At the end of the Predacon Rising movie, he flew off to who knows where, and we have no idea if he's making a comeback. So far, Megatron is always the bad guy, occasionally teaming up with Optimus, but always returning as the main villain. In Transformers Armada and Energon, realizing that Unicron was a threat to everyone and thing, gave up his spark to destroy him. If you've seen the movie, you'll know this clip.
Master, you're alive!
Indeed.
Your new battle armor will take things to the next level, my liege. Together we will reunite all Decepticons and once again grind Cybertron under your mighty heel.
No!
What? Why?
Because I now know the true meaning of oppression, and have thus lost my taste for inflicting it.
You've clearly been traumatized, Master. A good power down and a stroll around the smelting pit will put you back in touch with your inner warlord.
Enough! The Decepticons are no more, and that is final.
Meaning that if Megatron does come back in this new series, this is the first time we'll see him as a permanent Autobot. Also, after 5 years of no Megatron, he's obviously kept his word. Then there's Galvatron. He is an upgraded Megatron who gained new powers from Unicron and is more wild and violent than he used to be. In Transformers Prime, he is still called Megatron, leaving it questionable if this is Galvatron or not. Next, Starscream. Every single Starscream in history was killed by either Megatron, Galvatron or Autobots, except for Transformers Animated, where he was revived in a deleted scene, and Cybertron, where he is somehow a knife inside a fire dimension. Apart from Optimus and Megatron, Starscream is one of the main characters, with his endless goal to take over from Megatron as leader makes him an enemy of Autobots and sometimes Decepticons. This is his last scene.
This is not quite how I envisioned my rise to the throne, but since Lord Megatron all but surrendered it to me, I will gladly revive the Decepticons in my name. Though perhaps a throne is more befitting of an actual king.
I am not here to seize thrones, Starscream, but to settle scores.
Leaving it unknown if he will return in the new series or even survived. Next, Soundwave. There have only been 4 Soundwaves: Generation 1, Cybertron, Animated and Prime. And the first 3 had major talking roles, but Prime Soundwave only had 1 line while showing pictures and videos.
Soundwave superior, Autobots inferior.
Apparently, he has never died before, meaning that he might come back. If you watched the Shadow Zone and Dead Knock episodes, you'll see that they entered the Shadow Zone by crossing 2 ground bridges, which makes it difficult for him to escape as they are outlawed in the next series. However, it appears that he can create a ground bridge and at one point Bumblebee's team starts to use one in some episodes. Soundwave was last seen on a Decepticon ship which crashed on Cybertron in the movie. And because the crew survived, it might be possible that he survived too. But if he did, it is unknown where he went or what happened afterwards. He might find his way back to Earth, possibly through the ground bridge that B and the others took to Earth in the first episode, and create a ground bridge at the same time as Team B, resulting in him being free from the Shadow Zone. Next, Shockwave. There weren't too many Shockwaves either. He was called Shockblast in Transformers Energon and was given a brother called Six Shot. Shockwave has always been the one-eyed technician with one hand who works for Megatron. While the other Shockwaves perished, no fate was given to the Prime version. Again, a possibility that a Prime character survived. Next, Unicron. The giant transforming planet who devours everything in sight, who is a bigger threat than a Decepticon. In the Prime version, because he was a part of Earth, he did not transform into anything. After the movie, his present state shows that his offline body is still in Earth, and that his knife force is trapped in the Allspark container, and no one knows what happened to him afterwards. With his knife force on Cybertron, he could gain a new body with a protoform. Next, Arachnid, the spider-themed hunting Decepticon. She was put into stasis in one episode and remained there to the last season, where she was freed, and with her Insecticons tried to take over, only to become an Energon vampire and end up on a moon orbiting Cybertron. There, she was now seen draining the Energon from her army, and her and the Insecticons' fate are left unknown. Next, Predacons, beastly Decepticons who prefer more primitive fighting. In the Prime cartoon, only 3 were ever recreated and were not seen or heard in the new series. They were last seen tracking and either killing or hurting Starscream at the end of the movie. However, because there are not animal-themed Decepticons in the new series and they were never killed, it might be possible that they will return in the new series. Next, Knockout, the former Decepticon medic who is addicted to his finish and gets quite huffy when it is scratched, which also makes him a source of entertainment for the viewers. He became an Autobot in the movie, and because he survived, that might mean he might appear in the new series alongside Team Prime. Next, Viacons, the soldiers, workers and servants of Megatron. During the movie, it was shown that while some were knocked up in the Nemesis, some also helped the Autobots with rebuilding Cybertron. It is unknown what happened to them after that. With any luck, we might see them again at one point. Maybe the ones you fans call Steve. Next, Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. So far, there were only 2 or more deaths of Optimus Prime. But apart from Headmasters and Beast Machines, he always comes back, leaving it likely that he will remain online in the 2015 show. Next, Ultra Magnus. There have only been 4 Ultra Magnuses. Generation 1, Robots in Disguise 2001, Animated and Prime. And J1 and Animated were killed by Decepticons. As for the Prime version, he was now seen still recovering at the end of the movie from the Predacon attack at the beginning of the movie. He had no talking role, but he was conscious, meaning that he might have survived. Lastly, the humans. I have read that this series takes place 5 years after Prime, meaning that the humans might not be dead. Miko would be 21, Jack would be 20, and Raph will be 17. I don't know about June and Fauna, as their ages aren't mentioned. Raph might appear in a future episode of the new series and be reunited with Bumblebee. So whatever new episodes Hasbro makes, I hope they'll be able to answer these questions.